All right, good morning, guys. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. How we doing? Morning, guys. Margin, what's up, man? John, Easy, Sid, how's it going, guys? Closer, Bob. CMP, what's up, brother? How are you? Tuesday. What a day yesterday. What a beautiful day. Another beautiful day. Can't complain about that day. Good day for the long term. Good day for the trading account. How'd you guys do? Hopefully good. I'm actually checking the long term. Let's see what we were up yesterday. Not bad. Ace, thanks, man. Appreciate that. 2 members in the coffee fund, or 2 months, sorry, in the coffee fund. Actually, did I get my proofs yet? Hold on. Let me check the front door real quick. Not yet. Waiting on some bag designs here at the house. We got pretty much all the designs finalized, I think, for the coffee bags. So coming soon. It's a lot of work, though. It's a lot more work than I expected, but it's fun. It's a good time. Rise and shine. Let it be a profitable day. Yes, sir. All right. So yesterday, very strong upside day led by the SMH. The SMH on just an incredible ride back off the retest. Man, this daily chart retest was something special. This retest right here that we were sort of alluding to last week, alluding to earlier, yesterday and end of last week. The retest of these previous daily highs, the outperformance on the SMH that we were really strict about and really talking about on a daily basis, and look at the result of that. I mean, straight up off the retest, previous high, break, retest, long. What a simple little setup that was, huh? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. That's really the word for it. That is all you need to look for. This type of technical setup. What a beauty. So that is really nice to see. We'll see if the semiconductors can have another strong day. We'll see if the AMD comeback continues. We'll see if that Tesla reclaim, which is a massive watch today, the 414.50 Tesla reclaim. We'll see if that comes back today. Man, some good setups out there. Some great trading so far to start the year. So hopefully you guys are doing well. If not, start locking in, man. There's definitely been, at this very moment, I could say that the setups on this market have been absolutely fantastic, and it is definitely not market-related, choppiness or lack of continuation. So dig deep, find out what's causing the problems for you in your trading, figure out what it might be, because right now there is no shortage of opportunity. This is one of the, in my opinion, one of the best, just feels like there's opportunity on a daily basis. So I hope you guys are doing well. If you're not, again, like I said, dig deep, figure out why. The shortage of opportunities is not the reason. So just got to be realistic with yourself and figure out what that problem is, because it's been fantastic. So let's go out and try to find some new setups today. Let's try to find some new opportunities. Hopefully I can help you do that. Again, for free. So all I ask is for you to press that like button, please. Subscribe to the channel. Yeah, I want to show you guys something that's pretty cool this morning that I've been starting to hear about. This is new to me. I didn't know about this before like a week ago, but take a look at this, guys. This is some pretty honorable stuff for me. I mean, this really felt, this is pretty awesome. So right here, you have the top guy on Kinfo, which is a third-party verification website, and his first comment was that he in 2020 he stumbled upon our live stream here on YouTube and began learning by tuning into the live streams. That was his first comment, and that is pretty awesome. So again, for free, right? Coming to these live streams, turning into a 7-figure trader is some next level stuff right there. So congratulations to GG, and that is pretty cool to see that it, sort of the initiation of his trading career stemmed from our morning live streams. And I'm not going to take credit for his performance, because his performance is better than mine, man. That is well outperforming my trading performance. But I, just honored to see that from a free morning live stream, you have seen some traders become pretty damn successful. So that's something I can hold my head high upon. That's for sure. So all I ask is to press the like button and to pay attention, because the stuff we talk about on a daily basis, whether you believe it or not, is happening very consistently. And you can absolutely make money from showing up to these live streams. Ace, appreciate that, man, for the 50. Appreciate that, Ace, with the 50 to start out the live stream hot. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's get started. Today, economic calendar, retail sales at 8:30, so we'll see what the market does there. Let's see what the reaction is, and then we'll sort of adjust to that reaction. Tomorrow, average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change. Thursday, unemployment claims. And Friday, CPI. Okay? So that's that. We already know that. We already have that. We always know to be watching the economic calendar, so let's continue to watch that. Earnings. Tonight, we do have Robinhood, which is going to be a very interesting earnings. That's going to be a very important one, I'd say. I'm very intrigued by what happens there. This morning, we've had Coca-Cola, CVS, Spotify, Datadog, which is actually up this morning and helping some of the other names are in the surrounding sector. Tomorrow morning, Shopify, McDonald's, some names there. APP, Wednesday after close. NBIS Thursday morning, Coinbase after close, Toast, DraftKings, AMAT, Dutch Bros. So just keep up to date with this, guys. Just know that tonight, if you are swing trading anything, just make sure you know you got Upstart, you got Robinhood, you got Cloudflare, Net. So just some things to be aware of, okay? All right. All that is a precaution. So yeah, Datadog went up this morning. Sort of holding up slightly, but Snow is sort of moving up with that a little bit. That's one that's actually an interesting setup, to be honest. something I might be willing to watch today. But with that said, let's jump into the technical levels. So yesterday we had a few levels on the NASDAQ futures, right? The first level we had was the Thursday high of day. That was right here at 24,960. That was the exact low of day, okay? So let's just start there. The level that we talked about as a potential hold level yesterday at Thursday high day was the exact low of day on the NASDAQ futures. So that's a great check in terms of our thesis yesterday. Our next thesis was if you do hold that level, you have to get above the 25,219 lows right here. And you can see exactly when that happened on the intraday at 25,219. That was pretty much, it tried right here, it failed. It tried again right here, and this one is where the continuation came in. Our level was between 25,180 and 25,219. You can see the 25,180 rejected early morning. You can see it then turned into support and turned into support. So our zone between 25,180 and 25,219 was perfectly spot on in terms of that was the level that needed to turn back into support, and that is exactly what you got, which helped us continue higher the rest of the day. So that was a fantastic thesis yesterday, and I'm very pleased to see how that played out. Now, today, what you need to see is a pullback hold at these lows. You cannot give these lows up now, in my opinion. Now you want to see this low and this low turn into a higher low today. I would want to see this right here turn into a higher low. If that can turn into a higher low, then I think you can continue higher up towards the 25,514 and 25,536, which is then these highs here, which is then the daily 100, the daily 20, the daily 50. So there is a stacked up daily moving average up here on the NASDAQ futures, which is definitely going to be a little bit of a sketchy spot. So let's just be aware of that today if we do sort of push ourselves up higher towards these daily moving averages. That's a pretty stacked up spot. But for now, what I would love to see occur would be a pullback to start the day, a strong defense at this level, and then maybe a long sets up later in the day towards this high. That would be a really nice look. Now, if you do break back below that 25,180 today, there's nothing stopping this market from sort of unraveling a little bit and maybe even driving back down to the 24,960. And who knows, maybe even back down towards the 24,783, right? That is still very possible if you lose this low and this low. So that is not a low you want to see lost. If it does get lost, then I would assume you do see a little bit of a flip in momentum here, right? I would really assume that. So if you see that, be careful today. I would be careful being long if you start to see weakness set in under these lows. That is really not a great look. And I would assume that at a minimum would travel back to the previous day low. So just this is sort of the spot that you want to see, you know, the bulls defend and the higher low set in. If that does not occur, then I think downside could very well be the move today, maybe back to the previous day low or even to retrace back towards that Wednesday low. Okay? So definitely something to be watching. That's a clean spot, man. That's a very clean spot today. Let's go to the QQQ. So the QQQ yesterday, you can see we held this little Thursday level as well. It ended up being around 605 on the Qs. The level that we wanted to see us get above was 613.18, between that 613.18 and that 610.96 or 611 yesterday. If you look at the QQQ, you can see later in the session, we saw a very nice hold above that 613.18 and that daily 100 SMA on the QQQ. That ended up being a really important spot, and it still is an important spot this morning. So this 613.18 right here, that daily 100, and even down to this 611, I still think can be a pullback long area. Why do I say that? It's because it's the lows of the previous week, right? So back here, you have a low here at 611. You have a low, technically a low right around that 610.96, 611. And I would like to see this low and this low hold strong today on a pullback. I would not want to see us fail back below this low or this low. And that's right around that 611 on the QQQ. So if you fail back under 611 and reject it, I think that could be your sign for downside towards PDL, maybe even back towards that December low at 600. If you turn, what the hell? Alerts? How did I even get to that? Interesting. I didn't even know you can go to your alerts. I don't even know what button I pressed. Tools. What did I press? 7 maybe? Yeah, I did. 7. I would like to actually learn like the hotkeys a little bit more on TOS. Yeah, control 2 gets me back to the charts. Anyways, 611, 613, 18, definitely the zone. I want to see higher lows get formed. If it does, I think that's great towards our target of 619, the daily 20, daily 50. All right, that's really the target up here. If you can get above the daily 20, daily 50 here, then you are traveling very aggressively back to 630 on the QQQ, because look at this right here, my friends. See this straight down action right here? If you were to reclaim the daily 20 right here, you would get a strong move towards that 630, in my opinion. That is another massive opportunity to be watching for. We're not quite there yet, and we absolutely could reject here, so I wouldn't get your hopes up for that. But once you see something like this starting to form above the daily 20, then it might be time. So some nice spots to watch there on the Qs. S&P 500, you are rejecting our pretty much just right at 7,000. In the pre-market today, we can see our zone around the our 6920 level. Let me start from the morning. Our 6920 level ended up being a very nice spot. I was slightly surprised. All right, I think we're back. We're giving away too much sauce. They're shutting us down. I think we're back. Okay, we're good. The PTR, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, we're back. All right. They're trying to shut us down. 6920. These highs right here, 6920, those were the perfect lows from yesterday. That was very, very clean. And so seeing that hold is very convincing. When I look at this chart, I'll just be honest. When I look at this chart, I think anything north of 6920 is a pullback long. But it's going to be about finding and being precise with where it is. And that might be a little bit difficult for now. Because I would definitely not want to be short into the daily 20. I would definitely not want to be short into the daily 50. And I would definitely not want to be short into previous day lows at 69.20, which held really strong yesterday intraday. So anything lower that's above 69.20 from this point still looks like a pullback long to me all throughout this area, right? This whole area here to me is pullback long territory. So a little bit difficult to say exactly where it's going to be. For now, I'm going to keep my levels where I've had them and where we've seen reactions, which is the 69.69 and 69.81. That was some of these previous rejections here. You can see it's sort of holding in the pre-market, this 69.69. This is a level we've had for quite some time. And it also stems back quite far. It's sort of back towards this high here, right? If we go out to the 4-hour, it stems back to some of these previous highs, this 81 area, 80 area, these lows here, these highs here. So a lot of flips within this 69. So it's right here, right? See right here, all this rejection here, all these highs here. So I'm looking to see if that can hold tight today between that 69, 69, 69, 81. You can see right now it's attempting to do it, but I really would not look to short even if this broke, because I don't think there's a reason to short into the daily 20 on the ES, and I surely don't think there's a reason to short into the daily 50. I think anything in terms of a retracement of this move is a pullback long for now, right? Because if you take a retracement from yesterday's lows and you bring it up to yesterday's highs, right, all of this is just a retracement move. So 50% retracement, 61.8%, right? Here's the next retracement, probably roughly right around here. So that's all within your daily 20, daily 50. I would be very careful of shorting the S&P on this pullback today. I think the only spot that I would be interested in shorting the S&P would be a failure back below 69.20. That would be a very nice, very, very nice short below 69.20 right there. If you fail PDL, if you fail this high, you'll fall into this straight up move. That is a no-brainer short right there towards the daily 100. I like that a lot. But anything besides that, I think pullback long. So we're just going to have to sort of let this price action decide. 7,000 psychological level seems to be failing this morning, so you were sort of tight here. I wouldn't mind some dips, right, towards this 20, towards this 50 today. Over 7,000, you're going 7,030. SPY. So the SPY holds tight at this 688, 687.50 yesterday. That's basically the same spot. This Thursday pre-market high turning into lows, daily 50. Very nice spot there on the SPY. You push higher. You are now holding above our 693, 694. So if you hold above 693, 694 today, then you will just, I think, continue higher up towards these highs at 698, 699, even 700. Pullbacks under 693 to me, daily 20 is a possible hold, and then this 687.54 is a possible hold. Below this 687.50 and below yesterday's lows, that's where I would look for that short side back towards the 684, 683. But for now, again, like I said yesterday, I think the QQQ is just astonishingly more clear. I mean, it's just like way more easy to read for me. The QQQ, and I think, honestly, I think the tech sector has more opportunity right now in terms of a comeback. So I am really more focused on the NASDAQ and Qs right now. I just think it's such a more clear picture. I have such a clean previous low here, such a clean rejection here, such a clean little zone to be watching at this 25,180, 25,220. And on the QQQ, I have such a clean low at this 611. I have a clean 100 SMA at the 613.18 area. So just a really clean QQQ and NASDAQ market right now. Whereas the S&P, it's up into all-time highs again. And up here just gets very sketchy to me, right? Look at all these. Just look at all this. Ugh, I just don't like it. I don't like trading into this type of unknown sort of pop, drop, pop, drop, pop, drop, right? Just sort of super volatile highs that keep rejecting. So a little bit hands off up here on the S&P. I mean, it's definitely not the spot to be getting super aggressive on the long side, but there's absolutely individual equity setups like AMD yesterday that are worth trading, right? So we'll see. Let's let the price action decide a little bit. Let's see what happens at this daily 20, daily 50 on the ES. I think those are great spots. And then let's just see what happens on the NASDAQ as it pulls back into the Tuesday low, Wednesday high here, right inside of our 180, 220 zone. I think that'll give us a lot more detail today that we need to get a good picture. Okay? Let's go to the SMH. Unbelievable. Like I said on the beginning of the live stream, this is an unbelievable break and retest long. It's perfection. It's just textbook stuff. Previous daily high, break, retest, daily 50, massive low, right? And what a bounce. This is why you trade technicals, and this is why you don't trade vibes or biases. We had this live stream last week. We had the live stream with TradeZella last week, and there was some gentleman in that live stream that just kept saying, SMH is weak. SMH, this is terrible analysis. SMH is going down. From that day, SMH is up 9%. Okay, so continue to trade with a bias. You will continue to lose on the stock market. It's just as simple as that. This is a technically very sound bounce right off previous highs and right off the daily 50. It's just absolutely perfection. This is exactly what the market does. It's strict technical analysis in the short term here. There is just nothing more clean than what the SMH has done recently. So it shows you that you have to stop trading off of some kind of internal thesis that you're creating when you're laying in bed pissed off about the money you lost today, and you're just going to create some kind of idea out of thin air, right? What is the chart showing you, and what is that, and I have to learn to trade with that. It's simple as that. So perfect SMH hold. The outperformance that we saw on the last week, not creating that new low, was such a good read for us on this live stream. And we can see that from that point, we've continued higher, holding above these lows straight up. Now we held above that Wednesday high yesterday at 396. And today, what I would be looking for today is to see if it can hold above some of these previous highs right here. If the SMH can hold above this low at 403.17 and this high right here at 405.31, which it is right now, if that maintains today, guess what? The SMH is going higher, believe it or not. Right? If that zone holds strong today, then we are probably trading to this 413 spot on the SMH. Above that, you're trading into 421.50. All right, simple as that. If you lose and fail back below this 403.17, then that is where the weakness comes in, and that is where you can look for downside towards 396.71 again. Simple as that. Let the levels guide you. Okay. IWM, fantastic outperformance off that daily 50 bounce. That was an incredible hold. I'm looking to see if the SMH, or I'm sorry, the IWM can hold above, and I'll show you the levels that I'm watching here. I want to see if the IWM can hold above this high, this high, this high, and this high. All right, see that zone right there? You have 266.68. You have 265. So in between here, I would like to see if the IWM could sort of pull back and hold, right? Because if the IWM can turn this area back into support today, that is very convincing for upside continuation. So I'm okay with the IWM dipping into this zone today. Now, I want to see it at a very minimum hold 265. If you lose 265, then you have a problem, all right? That's a big breakdown back under these highs. But anything south at this point that does not break 265 is absolutely sort of that sort of rubber band pullback, right? That's sort of what the market does. You have a big move, it rubber bands, pulls back, and then it slingshots again, right? So this would be sort of your pullback, which is you pulling the rubber band back and then letting it go once you get a nice catalyst off that 265, right? So I'm okay with the little dip into this zone today, and then see how the buyers are sort of responding to that pullback. That's what I'm going to be watching on the IWM today, as long as it's above 265. If you break that, then the rubber band, instead of pulling back, it snaps, right? And then it breaks. So that's sort of that fine line, right? It's a really good analogy, actually, right? It's like the rubber band, it's a fine line until the pullback, the amount you pull that rubber band, it's either going to aggressively bounce back higher, or it's going to actually just end up snapping. And the rubber band snaps under 265. You wouldn't want to see that fail. Okay? All right. Gold and silver, I think, are just sort of off the docket for me as of now. It's in the consolidation mode. You had a huge move on gold. The time is it's getting a little bit quiet over here now. A nice move yesterday, but it's just, I'm not interested. There's so many better things to be watching, in my opinion. 470 GLD. GC is 51.50. Silver, you're rejecting this lower high at 82.50. It's right here. Let me show you. Right here. High. You're rejecting that now, and you're still below this daily 20. So for me, this is just sort of channeling, and I'm just not interested, to be quite honest. IBIT. You guys can see right here, we did not and have not gotten above that 80 or that 43 low, so this is still not a comeback move for me, and I would definitely not look to be long this right now. The only time you look to be long Bitcoin is on a reclaim of 43. If you can get back above this low right here, that is a very, very aggressive potential sort of reclaim ripper. That's only, though, if you get back above 43. So I would wait for that. I have an alert set there. I'm just simply waiting for it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a minute and press the like button. We got 2,200 people here. Appreciate that, guys. Press that like button. Get us to 1,000 likes. Also, if you watch the daily live videos, I post my daily trades, live trades every single day on this YouTube channel, all throughout the month of February. If you guys could, make sure to check those videos out. Press the like button on those videos as well. That would help me out, get those videos out to more people. I would appreciate your help on that. Okay. And while we wait for the 1,000 likes, why not just say, if you guys want to sign up for TradeZilla, use the code DESI for 20% off. And if you want to sign up for Kalshi and do some prediction market action with the technicals that we do, use code Vincent. Get $10 off and get $10 into your account. All right, there's your intermission, and now let's continue on the stocks. Tesla, incredible watch today. Probably the top watch by a mile. This is the perfect reclaim ripper setup. This is exactly what you want this to look like. So, Tesla, yesterday, we talked about holding the 409.43, right? That's exactly what it did. What did that turn into? It turned into a rip over 414.50 lows. We had the 414.50s. We had that major inflection point, and we got above it. So today, I am very interested in seeing if Tesla can hold above this high, 414.50, and this low. So that is all between 413.69 to 415.46. If you pull back and hold this zone aggressively, this is a very interesting pullback long and a reclaim of major triple bottom lows. This is a super interesting watch. That would be a very clean target right up into that 424 and above that into this 430 and daily 20 SMA. I love these targets. I like the T1. I think that's a great T2, and I would look to be long somewhere inside of this area here for those target moves. Something I'm going to be very closely watching today. Let's see if it can play. Let's see if it can play. I would love it. So, once again, lows, 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 highs, break, retest. That's a reclaim of that 2021 high as well at 414.50. If you can pull back, hold that, I would target 424. I would target 430. If you fail back under that 413.69, I don't love it because I really don't want to see you lose this low right here. So this is where I'd like to see buyers step up, right inside this 413.69 to 415.46. Okay? Let's see, man. This could be nice. So, NVIDIA, retail sales. All right, we got retail sales data. Appreciate that, Hamish. What do we got on the market? Anything? Retail sales lower than anticipated there. So it's the same month over month. Okay. So no change month over month. Got it. Market is not really reacting to that as of yet. Yeah, not really any reaction. Okay, let's continue. NVIDIA. I mean, what a ripper. I had no idea. I mean, I don't know if I could have anticipated that yesterday. What a straight up rip. I have not seen NVIDIA move like this in a very long time. Holy crap. What an insane move, man. That was just vertical and vertical and vertical until it wasn't, and then it just went completely sideways the rest of the day, which is actually quite impressive, right? For this to go like this and then just flatline is very impressive instead of going like this and then this. So this is a wild, wild move on NVIDIA. With that said, there is now a reason to be watching this today. If you can hold above these lows this high, and that's right between this 180, really I'm going to call it 190, right? If 190 can maintain today on NVIDIA, I'm going to say you're going to the 194 again at these highs. You break that, you got 197. There's not much above this 194. If you can get above that 194, which has been this massive rejection point, 197 is your next target. And look how quickly you made back this entire drop on NVIDIA, which is crazy. And that's, man, it's right off the daily 200. I mean, my goodness. It is right off the daily 200. So tell me, you can't tell me that looking for pullbacks to the daily 200 SMA is not a fantastic opportunity. I mean, it just always is. Look at this daily 200. Unbelievable hold. What an opportunity that is. So congratulations to those that caught that. That is a sick comeback off that level. Today, man, I don't love this, right? I'm going to say it because it's no different than any other day, right? And you guys hear me all the time say this. I don't love that you did this, right? Because in my book, that means you should pull back and, maybe retrace back to that 186 for a quality pullback long. But when something is in absolute devil mode, I mean, it can continue in that mode, right? So, I mean, NVIDIA has the horns on. It's just, yesterday it was just rocking and rolling. And if this thing rocks and rolls again, then guess what? It's not pulling back. It's just going to rock it again. So we stay open to that opportunity, right? We understand that this is what it means to be watching stocks that are in play, right? A lot of people, we talked on the last webinar, it's like, watch stocks that are in play, right? And so NVIDIA is now in play, right? This is a stock that you should absolutely be watching to see what it does today. So if this thing does not fail back under these lows around 189.60, 190, and it just maintains again today, then you probably are going to see a move up to 194. And if that thing breaks that 193.60, it's really 193.63 is the level I have. If you break that, you're going to 197, and this can continue. So just keep an eye on NVIDIA today. AMD, what an awesome trade yesterday, man. What a perfect thesis. What a perfect trade. I loved every second of it. Straight from this pre-market live stream. If you paid attention yesterday, we talked about us holding inside of these previous highs. We said look for the pullback to 204, 206, and see if that hold comes in, right? If you paid attention at all yesterday, you should very much remember that. If you go to the 1-minute chart yesterday, you can see off the morning you pulled back and held 204, 206 absolutely perfectly. So that in itself gave me a lot of confidence that AMD was going to go higher yesterday, seeing how strong it wicked out of that major demand. Hold above PDH was really the entry point. You can go watch the live trade on my video from yesterday. Today, 212.50. That's the level. If you can pull back and hold 212.50, I love that entry point at these previous highs. That would be a great entry point for continuation to the upside, possibly towards that 100, that 50, and possibly towards this 226 target. Broadcom. I'm only a matter of time, right? We've been talking about Broadcom outperformance. Once it filled that gap, it continued to do the gap trap. You know, we've been talking about the gap traps quite a bit, right? It filled that gap. It trapped by that gap fill area multiple times, right? Look at all these traps down here, eventually leading to that beautiful upside move that we saw yesterday. And now Broadcom is back above that major rejection point at 340, right? Massive smackdown, 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 and smackdown. 5 smackdowns right at 340. So now what are you looking for? You're looking for 340 to now turn into a beautiful higher low hold. If that occurs, you should see this continue, and I would say towards that 355. So that will definitely be something I watch. Broadcom back down to that 340. I think that would be a sick watch. ARM, our baby ARM, man. ARM day. Oh my God. This is just awesome. Again, ARM, what a beautiful thesis yesterday. What did we look for yesterday on ARM? We looked for the pullback long at 118. That was exactly where ARM pulled back and held. So another beautiful thesis yesterday on ARM. We talked about the pullback long at 118 in the daily 50. Look where ARM held yesterday. The low of day was 118.25 in the daily 50. Unbelievable opportunity there. What a beautiful pullback long. That is a perfect retest, right? You have previous highs, you have a break, you have a retest, you have a long. That is, again, just textbook technical analysis. Today on ARM, if we can get over this 125.17 spot, which is this low right here, I'm going to assume you trade up into like this 128.74, and possibly you could even be looking for this daily 200 and 100 up here at 140. So I'm loving the ARM purchase that we made. I'm going to continue to hold these shares. I'm in at around, I think it was 120, 118, 120 area. And, yeah, let's see what this thing can do. But ARM, this has been a name that we've been watching for a long time because it hasn't been getting the love with the rest of the semiconductors. So this is something to keep an eye out. TSM, we talked about that 344, 347 yesterday. That's right here. Right here, right here. Look at the hold yesterday, right in that zone. That is perfect break and retest holds. Now, what I'd love to see is this pullback to 352. I'm not sure I'm going to get that today, but that would be incredible to get that retest right here at 352. If not, I don't mind looking for that 360 hold today. 360 pullback, 352 pullback. Both great pullbacks to be watching. MU, we talked about that underperformance yesterday, and I still believe in the underperformance on MU, guys. This one's starting to underperform a little bit. It's not anything to be too worried about. This thing has made an absolutely just astronomical run. So a little bit of underperformance right now is not a bad thing. So don't start shorting MU with your life savings because it's not going straight up anymore. So just be aware of that. This is a little bit of consolidation that doesn't hurt after a massive move. I think give me a little bit more pullback to 350, and I would re-look for the long. Down here, 350. I'm still waiting for it. MRVL had a little bit of a hold yesterday that was worth watching, 78.80. That's interesting. I'm not sure I'm going to be out there trading that, but 78.80, not bad. CRWV, what a beautiful trade yesterday off that 87. Today, I think I want to see it back to like this 92 spot. I really do believe that that's the right spot to maybe look for a hold here. If I look at this chart, it's sort of trapping around this area, and I think the cleanest spot after seeing this is probably back to this 92. I think that's my favorite spot on CRWV. Right here, right here, right here. Maybe back to the daily 20 and 92. I think that's a great spot to be eyeing today. So anywhere between the 92 and I would say the daily 20 would be where I'd look for CRWV to pull back to today. Somewhere within here. All right, give me a pullback to 92, give me a pullback to the daily 20, and then let's rip towards that 100 spot. If CRWV is hot, NBIS will stay hot. So you can look for this NBIS hold over this Wednesday high at 90. I'd be looking for that today, a 90 hold on NBIS. Apple downside yesterday. I'm really not interested in Apple right now, but a good rejection of our 280. Microsoft, beautiful reclaim of the 408.56 level. We talked about if Microsoft can reclaim these lows, it should continue higher. That's exactly what it did. Microsoft now, the best trade possible in Microsoft is this. If we can get it, create that left shoulder, that right shoulder, right? You have a left shoulder, you have a head, create the right shoulder. The right shoulder, you'd get a pullback to 408.56 and create that new higher low long entry. If Microsoft gets above 420 right up here, these highs, these lows, then you are really off to the races, and you will continue on Microsoft, especially with the gap that is above. So if you get above 420, then I think you're probably looking for gap fill on Microsoft. I would definitely keep eyes on this one. It's Microsoft at the end of the day. Do not count out the comeback on this name. I would be very focused on 420. Very focused. Meta had some crazy Zuckerberg intraday rip yesterday. I mean, this was absolutely ridiculous watching what happened intraday. I mean, this thing was almost turned to the left. Almost. I mean, it was so close to just start trading to the left. It was so vertical. But what a beautiful daily 100 or daily 20, daily 50 hold. Look at that hold. Look at that sort of break of trend right here. So this thing might start picking up some juice, right? You have a beautiful break of trend. You starting to get some action here. I would be watching what Meta does. This is a great pullback spot. If we look at the daily chart, nice pullback spot after a big earnings move. I'm going to be watching very closely that daily 200 SMA at 686. So right here, you can see these lows. You can see that daily 200, 680, 641. That's the level that needs to break. That's the level that needs to break. Amazon, nothing. Needs to get over 215.18. Palantir, one of my top watches today. Palantir is beautifully reclaiming the lows that we wanted to see reclaim. It's doing exactly that. You can see these lows, these highs. Look at the hold above that today. That's great. If you can get above 147.12, and let me show you why 147.12, take a look at this on the 4-hour. Actually, is it not exactly 147.12? Hold on, let me get the exact level here. The exact level of this low is, what's the exact low of this candle? It is 147.56. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I'm comfortable with that. Let me zoom out. Okay, I like 147.12 as well. That's this low right here. You do have that 147.56, which might be worth sort of keeping a level there as well. 147.56 is that major daily low. So I'd say you probably want to see a hold above that entire, like sort of right in between the 147.12, 147.56. If you can get a little break and sort of reclaim long there, I think that's a great spot. So Palantir, definitely a comeback name, definitely a viable watch, I would say. I would want to get back above these lows right here, back above that 4-hour low at 56. Give me that, and then give me that to fill in this straight down move towards 156. And I love the reclaim above this low, these highs, love that. So, yeah, Palantir definitely on the top of the watch today. APP, what a move. Look for the pullback long back at these lows. That's 455, 450. Love that. Zoom, we talked about Zoom getting a little bit of juice yesterday, and what did it do? It went straight up all day. I would definitely keep watching Zoom, my friends. Interesting name for a comeback. 94.30, these highs, break, retest long. That's something I would be watching today on Zoom. Okay. That's going to be it. Let's, do I like anything on Kalshi today? I did lose yesterday on my prediction, unfortunately. The market went much higher than I expected, but we made $2,000 trading. We lost $50 on Kalshi, that's fine with me. That's a hedge. Do we have a Friday price range at Friday? Okay, let's see. We do have a Friday price range on the S&P. Let's see what I'm thinking for today. So 7,000. Let me take a look at that. Oh, that's price range. I don't like that one. I want to know, like, will it be above or below? Oh, here, price at 4 p.m. There we go. So 7,000 or above on SPX is a very good odds right now. Do we think that SPX is above 7,000? Do we think SPX closes above 7,000 today? Is today the day? Is today the day that we get the 7,000 hold? I think the odds are worth it. We got to look at this. 7,000 or above on SPX. It's a very high holy shit, that's a big return. That might be worth it. For the 7,000 close on the SPX today? That would be 0.5% to the upside on the ES or on the SPY. You know what? I think that's worth it. I'm taking that. I'm going for it. Close above 7,000 today. Let's see if today's the day. $20 on it. Great return. That's a great return. For 20 to make 100. Let's see. Make $100. Let's see. Hey, let's be bullish today. I'm not gonna. Again, I don't let this change the way I trade, so just know that. That's why I'm just putting in $20. But let's see if we can be. Let's see if we can get the 7,000 close on the SPX today. That would be a very bullish day. That would be a very nice breakout move here above 7K. We'll trade accordingly, as we always do. All right, guys. Yeah, and I mean, this is definitely not, big money type of stuff for me, but I think it's fun. If you enjoy it, right, and you just take if you stop being if you get the stick out of your you-know-what, and you just have a little bit of fun for a second, I think as long as you're trading correctly and doing the right things, I think to have a little bit of fun on this on a live stream, have a little bit of entertainment, I mean, that's good. I want to add some entertainment for us on this live stream. That's always been a goal of mine, right? Let's have some fun every once in a while. And so this is my way of having fun. But I know there's going to be people in here that's like, Desi, why are you gambling? That's such bullshit. You're such a terrible person. How are you gambling, man? That's crazy. But anyways, it is what it is. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. If you did, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I have exciting news coming up here. Hopefully I have it by tomorrow, so make sure to show up tomorrow. Got some exciting stuff there. If you want to sign up for Kalshi, use code Vincent. If you want to sign up for TradeZilla, use code Desi. Yeah, I mean, I guess there's your, I would rather do this I'd rather do this than do sports betting. I don't sports bet ever. Ask any of my friends. I'm not a sports bettor. It's just not really interesting to me, but I guess this is my way to let out a little bit, is the Kalshi prediction markets. All right, guys, have a great day. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Peace out.